How do you do, sports fans, and welcome back to the only CalTV show that's getting the top overall seed on Selection Sunday. I'm Dan Fiedler.
And I'm Paige Keffer.
And today we're going back
and forth. Starting off the show with men's basketball, the Bears are looking forward to the start of the Pac-10 tournament when they face USC this Thursday after coming off a loss on Saturday against Arizona State. Dan, what's your prediction for the Bears?
I don't see the Bears pulling out a victory against USC on Thursday night, and it's because of their focus in the second half when they're playing the Trojans. When they played them in Los Angeles, they were nursing a lead for nearly 5 minutes in the second half before they gave it up. And when they played in Berkeley, they had a 12-point lead at one point in the second half and had a lead in the second half for 18 minutes before they almost gave that one up too. It seems like focus is a big issue for them, and with them not having a whole lot to play for because, for all intents and purposes, they have a bid to the big dance. USC needs to win a lot of games in this tournament. They're going to come out with more fire, and I think they're going to be the victors.
Speaking of the history of the Bears against USC and definitely other teams, when we shoot better than the other team, when we shoot better, we're 18-1. I think that is a statistic that you really can't overlook. If we continue to shoot well, number one in the country as far as three-pointers goes with 44.5%. And interestingly enough, I think it's really important to note that that's only 25% of our shots.
Moving on to women's basketball now. The Golden Bears defeated Arizona 51-48 on Saturday night after dropping a decisive victory to Arizona State on Thursday. They'll now wrap up the number 2 seed in the Pac-10 tournament and await the winner of Oregon versus Washington on Thursday night for their Friday game. Now, Paige, what are your predictions for the Lady Golden Bears in the Pac-10 tournament?
The real question is, can we beat Stanford?
Right.
We lost them on Valentine's Day, pretty heartbreaking, and I think that loss possibly can serve, as a revenge-type tool.
Yes.
I think Hampton, Walker need to step up, and I also think they need to involve the rest of the team. They're great leaders, and they played really well. The Arizona coach said, thank God they're gone.
Exactly.
So.
Let me borrow that point for you from a second. Alexis Gray-Lawson has not been playing well in the last 3 games. We mentioned that Cal has lost 3 of its last 4 in women's basketball, and Alexis Gray-Lawson in their past 3 games has scored 9, 7, and 6 points going back in time, respectively. That's just not going to get it done based on her past production and how successful they were in the early parts of the season. She really needs to step up her game, and in particular, her scoring, if they want to get to Stanford and be able to topple the Giants.
You mentioned those recent losses, and I think, I really hate to say it, but I think we might have peaked too early. I think that's not a place that you want to be heading into the Pac-10 tournament, the NCAA tournament. I think we really needed that momentum. This Sunday is Selection Sunday, and with the general consensus being that Pitt, UNC, and UConn have locked up the 3 number 1 spots. Dan, who deserves that 4th number 1 spot?
All right, Paige, I got another number 1 for you, but guess what? Okay. It's not from the Big East. I'm taking the Oklahoma Sooners because they have a huge player named Griffin. Well, actually, 2 huge players named Griffin. Not only has Blake Griffin been spectacular this year, getting 22 and 14 rebounds, his brother, Taylor Griffin, has been really good in the past 4 games. He's got double digits. He's now up to 10 points and 4 boards a game. They're both playing very well, and when you have a consistent interior presence like those 2 at 6'10 and 6'7 respectively, then you can win against almost anybody.
Dan, I don't know if you're forgetting, but a basketball team on the court is actually made up of 5 people. And my choice is the Louisville Cardinals. They're at the top of the Big East in a conference that also includes the other number 1 picks that I mentioned, UConn and Pitt. And you can't forget Villanova as well as Syracuse.
Well, there's Kansas and Missouri in the Big 12.
No, I'm going with Louisville.
That's all the time we have for Back and Forth today. I'm Dan Fiedler.
And I'm Paige Keffer.
All right, we'll see you next week.